Sprint orienteering course setting is actually really good practice for sprint orienteering itself, even if you don't intend to run the courses. That's because a lot of sprint orienteering is pattern recognition. In a typical urban area like this one, with some small campus buildings and some larger buildings in a commercial or industrial type area, there's only a limited number of ways that the course planner can place controls to create interesting navigational challenges. There's plenty of opportunities for these challenges because of the area has a lot of things going on, but if we break the kinds of navigational challenges that can be posed by the course planner, you'll see that there's only a limited number of types. I'm going to break these types down into, firstly, the 50-50 route choice decisions. These tend to be small to medium legs across a regular shaped object where there's two options, maybe three, and it doesn't really matter which option you take because they'll take a similar amount of time, but you want to execute them smoothly. The second type is the trap. That's when at first glance it looks like there's multiple options, but one or more of those options is actually not an option. Maybe there's an impassable wall or it's a dead end. And so this can cause you to lose time by taking a route choice that eventually you have to turn back on yourself or go even wider to get around an object you didn't appreciate when you first planned the leg. The third type is the more awkward kind of route choice where you have some switchbacks or you have a wiggly kind of shape, and it can be a lot harder for the human brain to see exactly what distance is required to travel if you were to take on that route. And often a wiggly route is posed in opposition to a wider, smoother route, and the orienteer is forced to make a choice between those two contrasting route choices. So the best way to get started is just to get stuck in. I'm going to throw a start triangle down on the corner of this building. No particular reason. It's an interesting area. My eyes are drawn to it. I can see from this area there's a lot of opportunities for these 50-50 style route choices that I talked about earlier. We can see this square building here. Seems like an obvious choice for a 50-50 decision. Here's a route choice. It looks pretty close to 50-50. We can go around the driveway / road, or we can go between the buildings. It's actually quite close together. Remember, the scale of these maps is really small, so things are going to be coming out really quickly. And just throwing a few of these 50-50 style decisions in a row is actually very common in sprint orienteering. This is quite a cool one because there's actually 3 ways to get here: the S-bend through the middle, out west, and out east. So that's again quite a typical kind of leg, and being able to see the pattern of the 3 50-50 options straight away will make everything easier for you. I'm interested in these fences here. Can we create a trap leg? Yes, there's only one way to get into this area here. So, and coincidentally, our second control placement was really quite useful for creating this trap because it looks like there's a 50-50 decision around this building / fence. But actually you need to go north to get into number 3 efficiently. If you were to try to get at number 3 from the south, you have to come around a bit further. So that's a quite typical trap. We can do another 50-50 one. I'm tempted to go in here. This looks less interesting to the south, so it's quite tempting. Yeah, I'm just going to throw on the corner of this building. There's this right angle shape here that's impassable. And to me, that's one of these 50-50 patterns that stands out. Putting your control on the far side of a 50-50 impassable area. We've got some big buildings now. Can we create a big route choice around some of these big buildings? Can we use both if we throw a control really far over here? What happens? Is there some interesting decisions that emerge? I can see it's quite accessible from the east. You can go around to the west. It's maybe the placement is a bit easy. Maybe we can pull it back in. And we can see that it's getting harder for the brain to compare the merits of these 2 route choices out to the east and out to the west. At first, to me, it looks a bit faster to go to the east, but we're just going to we don't want perfection. We just want to practice these repeating patterns and get really familiar with noticing the decisions that are before us. We've also created a trap here that I didn't notice at first, which is quite cool. So that's what you want to do. Throw some controls down, get used to the brain picking up these different styles of legs quickly, and just keep doing this as many times as you need. It's all good practice.